Hello, this is Christina with Kilburn's Creations again. I'm getting ready to work on my baby album, and I thought I'd let you see some of the ideas I came up with. Let's refocus it. There we go. Okay, now, my last video, I know I said it was going to be a certain size, but I found out that it is very hard to cut a straight line. It's not easy. So it is a little bit smaller, not a whole lot, but she'll still be able to get the 5x7s in it. So that was my main thing. So now I am going to be covering the outer part. How's the be the outside cover? And what I have done is, let me show you these. Okay, this is score tape. This one's the nice wide one that I have on it right now. And it comes in the different sizes. This one is 7/8 of an inch. This one I think is like 5/8. Half inch. Almost a half inch. This one you would think would be the 1/4 inch. Yeah, they're just a hair smaller than the actual sizes. I get these at Joann Fabrics. They come into a package. They have like a bulk area of dark brown cardboard, and everything in the little bins there is $1.99. And when they have their coupons, 40 and 50% off, and I'm not needing anything, I go and stock up on this. So I get these up to 40 to half % off the regular price charge, where the first one, when I first started looking for them, it was anywhere from $3.99 and up. And I was using my coupons on them to get those half or 40% off. So I decided to start using this. It's the same thing. It works just as good. I like it. Took a little time to get used to using this one though, with the big tape and all. Might need some practice with that if you try that one out. But this one here, I think, is the actual size. This one is close to the actual size, and so is this one when you get them. So, you know, like this one here, you get more yardage, but it's a thinner tape. Where this one here is wider, and really this one and this one is just about the same size. So you get the same amount of tape, but this one covers a wider spot. So I sat down and I thought about it, and I said, yeah, it's worth it. So there's the different tapes that I get at Joann's. And then I also get this. They also have it in the same area for the red, but it's smaller. It's more this size. But this one here I think I got at Hobby Lobby's. This is what I was getting from Joann's. And it was the same amount, 6 yards, for a 1/4 inch, compared to $3.99 and up, depending on which store you go to. Both of these, depending on which store you go to, compared to these little cardboard packages for $1.99, and then getting that at 40 or 50% off. So coupons are great. I love my coupons. So that's what I've done here, is I've taken this wide tape here and I've covered the back of it. And then I took my folder here and we push a lot of the air bubbles out if you can, or wrinkles. And then we're just going to peel this stuff off. Need to get in a garbage bag. And this takes quite a bit of time, so I didn't want to have you guys sit there and be bored with me pulling tape, backing off. But then it's kind of neat to see at the same time. Guess I varnished this one down too much, huh? See how there's a big bubble right there? You don't want the bubbles. And this one here. And then we're taking our 12 by 12, that is the largest piece of paper that I have. And I think this is 11 or 11 and a half long. So we're going to flip that over. We are going to try to center it on my first cover that I tried doing. I didn't leave enough between these two. So then we want to push that all down, flip it over, all nice. Where are you? Something we don't want. And then we are going to take these edges and just fold them right up to the edge of that board. And then we're going to do it to this one too. All four sides. And then this too. That part's going to be a little tricky. I might have to add to that. And that is. So then next, we are going to put some of this score tape. Oh, you want to clip the edges first. So we're going to fold this back out and just do a little diagonal cut right here. And then this one will go right here. And then this corner here. And then this corner here. Okay, now we can get this type. Put this tape here and put it right along this edge. And same thing with this side here. this at an angle here. That right there. Line it up to the edge without going over. And then we want to do the inside of the board right here. Ah, yes, my fingers like to stick to it. And we're going to press these down. Push this one down. Okay, we're not going to do the tops yet, we're just doing the sides. And pull that one off that. And that one off that. And you're going to want to really push this up like so, and then fold it over. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. There's that side here. I think I might have to put an extender on that. But anyways, that's one of the covers. And here's the first one I did. So you got front and back cover. And then we can use another piece of white cardstock. But we only need it to be about 5 inches wide. So we line it right here to 5 inches. So that is now a 5 by 12. Just like so. Same thing as we did on the other one.
Guess who waddled in?
Is that Thumper?
Mm-hmm.
And got the sticky tape off. We flip it over. Try to center it without getting my head in the camera way. And smooth it down. Then we're going to do the same thing. Bring these edges over as much as possible. And get that vent in there. We'll go here. Like so. then we're going to cut our corners. You do want to leave a little bit over there. So when it gets folded together, it looks nice and snug. Like so. Okay, now I think this might be too wide. Yeah. Okay, with this one here, okay, I'll smooth down. We are going to use the medium size one. We're going to put this one right here on the board. And then we're going to put one here on the outer edge. About there. We don't want to go over because we don't want to get any dust or sticky, or in my case, cat hair. I have 3 cats. They love my work area. I gotta cover it up with towels all the time when I get done working on something. And that's only if I remember to. And then this one can go across like so. Okay. So we're going to go to one side here. Make sure it's touching everything. Fold this up and over. And then the same thing on this side. So the tape off. So much fun watching people pull back and take backing off. Okay, if you're like me and you did get a little bit of stickiness over here somewhere, I have my little, and you can just cover those spots up like that. And they're not sticky no more. Okay, so then there's that one done. So we got our covers all wrapped. Our next step would be doing the tie back. Which I misplaced, so that will be in the next video. I will do that so everybody can see what I'm doing. But what I also was working on was the pages. So here's the pages to my book. I measured the edge a ½ an inch in, because that's going to be covered up, and then from my outer edge here, which was 8 1/4, so I brought them in about a ½ an inch, and actually this would go up a little bit. I think the tops is about a ½ an inch all the way around is what I left. So I cut those to size. And then I wanted a pretty little decorative edge. So I picked out my edge, which I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. And then I started inking it. Well, when I started using the, let me show you that. I found two blues, and they both look good with the paper that I have. One is a Tim Holtz Distress ink, and one is Versa Magic from Archive. And Versamark is over here, and this is the Tim Holtz. Tim Holtz is just a little bit darker. So what I thought I would do is use the Versa on the white and use the Tim Holtz on the dark. See if you can see that. This side is darker. You can't hardly see it on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and use both of them, as I think I need them. Put those back over there out of our way. So after I cut my border, and I started putting the ink on it, just going around the edges and all that, well, right here where these little points were, they're a little on the flimsy side. I think I've got mine all glued down though. But anyways, it was flipping up and bending. Well, we need pages that's going to last longer than that. So I cut another strip, and after I figured out which style of edging I wanted, I glued another strip on top of that one. So these right here are doubled, and it makes it a whole lot thicker and sturdier. Now this is 110-pound paper, but I didn't want to take the chances of it bending up and getting ripped. And what I used was, used the Tahoe ink, or glue. Comes in a green bottle, or white bottle with the green lids on it. And the applicator on it, the edges was just too big. It was making a mess. I was getting it all over the place. So I found this one here at Hobby Lobby. Somebody said that they had them at Hobby Lobby in the model car area. Special, just more detailed arts than the crafts. And that came out, and it was like almost perfect. The problem I was having though is because it was coming out so slow, because it's such an itty bitty tiny hole to do that. This side was drying before I got this side done. So I had to do like 3 or 4 of them at a time. And then place my strip down, and then I just kind of pulled it back a little bit. This is the wrong size. But anyways, I laid it down, and then what wasn't glued around, I pulled back as far as I could, and then I re-inked a little area here that probably already had glue, but it's probably dry by the time I got back to it. And then I would do a few more, and then I would just lay that back down, hold it down, put some more of this with the real fine tip, and then on the outer edge here, I just took the fine tip, put it underneath there, and I just went back and forth, back and forth. The one thing that I don't like about summer glue is it wets your pages too much, and you get like a wrinkle or, you know, ocean look that I don't care for. But what was neat about this is we're putting down so much less down that it gave me a nice good bond. And this will end up being covered, this part here would be covered up with the baby paper or backings, so you're not going to see it anyways by the time we get done, to give you an idea. Well, actually we're going to have it come up a little bit like that. So then we'll have a nice, neat, smooth area, and it looks good. So then after I did that, I put the red score line tape, since it is a whole lot stickier Then this white stuff. Right here. And this is supposed to be a 1/4 inch. Either they didn't measure correctly or my little score line template is off a little bit. But I put 2 rows side by side. You want to make sure you can get every single part of this little flap right here covered. Because that's what's going to stick to the binding of the book. So I got that taken care of. I got all my papers and inked and marked. You know, it's not fun watching the ink dry and watching somebody do the same thing 6 times. So then after that, while I was playing around with my border edges, I showed you in the last one my different border edges I have. And I wasn't sure which one I was going to wear. Or use. So that would be all these here. So I did samples. Here's another one. This one is the same as this one here. It's just a smaller detail. But I love the eyelet. It's perfect for babies. But I didn't want it on the corner or the outer edge. But this is going to look cool on pockets. But this one here, I made this one with that. See how it's off a little bit? This one here is directly across. This one here has a zigzag look to it. Let me get... See, it has a zigzag look to it here. This one here has it directly across. We've got gemstones or pearls. Buttons, baby buttons. That might be an idea. We find baby buttons. And glue them onto pockets. This is more for the pocket idea that I'm thinking of. So anyways, there's that one. This one here, I offset a little bit, so it has like a zigzag winding look to it to me. It does, to me it does. And then you do have your traditional edging. And then you can do both sides of edging. And see, this one is just farther apart. You see with this one here I think was a inch. This one here was an inch. This one I think was 1.25 inches. I did this one in the blue. Same idea. But it's fun. I'm going to show you a few of the techniques that I did playing around. And I also learned my mistakes playing around too, so as you can see on this one here. But that one there was with the eyelet punch here. And then let's go with this one here. This is just the scallop. So that's what it normally does. Let me cutting strips and playing around. If you set it just right into your punch, you can get a zigzag. This one here is just a wider border. Almost looks like a rope. This one's a little bit wider. This one's directly across, where this one here is offset. Which I'll show you that when I start showing you some punching. Did I have anything else with this one? Get all these ideas in my head and then get confused and mixed up. Oh, here's a wider one. That one's just a little bit wider from end to end. You can do both sides. And then something neat like this, you can have this and then you can do another zigzag in it. Or you can, I showed you those little borders that I found at Joann's in the scrapbooking area. And you could put something like this and put it right here. We could do it on this one too, I think. Yeah, see how that gives it a nice look? all kinds of ideas. Have fun, experiment. I was having a blast. So there's these ones here I showed you. And then there's this one here with the scallops, which I really liked also. But I don't know if it's babyish. I was thinking of be, you know, one-sided would be boyish. You know, if you was just looking at the one side, that'd be nice for the edge. But I didn't like how this had so much. If you didn't have it reinforced right there, that would come and rip it a whole lot sooner. So that's why I went with the scallop. So, but you can make other types of borders for like the pockets. How we do the fancy edges around the pocket, we could put that on that. Have background paper. Let's see, this one here, you can see where I offset it a little bit. So it gives you a kind of a swirly design in there. Same with this one. This is when I realized that I wasn't paying attention to lining my cuts up like I should be. And then this one here, this one is a smaller width. You can see I have different widths here to give you all kinds of different looks. And this one here was just under an inch. Yeah, under an inch. And this technique right here is the same one that did that. It's just that it's so close together, it cut the hearts out on each side, which I thought was really cool. We can do that on a Valentine one or a wedding one. I like that. So there's that one there. And then I had these two scallops. And the only difference was that one was bigger than the other. Here's where you can see I tried doing a both side border on it. I had it too close together, it's not going to work. I had to have it farther apart. But I thought this was a little too dainty for a boy. I did like this one better. It's more sturdy, so I didn't have to worry so much about the rips or anything until I started putting the ink on it. So then that's when I doubled up the pages. Now this one here shows you this large size and the small size. I think that was the first one I did. This is on an 1.5 inch piece of paper. So I think I like the bigger one better, so I did a whole side. This one is a 1 inch piece of paper. Excuse me. And you also got to learn from your sets how you set them off. Excuse me. See, with this one, I offset them. This one, I lined up perfectly, and they're straight across. When I did that one, I thought that would probably be neat for the binding of the book. Right there. Instead of using that fabric eyelet that I have. I mean, a lot of the laces and stuff I pulled out, I don't think I'm going to need. Now the trims I think will look neat in there. Let's see, where's some of the trims at? Come out and show yourself. Okay, there we go. Now, of course, this green will not go on this turquoise like this. This is just an idea. But you could do that where you had it on both sides, use a wider ribbon, or you can put it on the narrower one like this. Also with the eyelet one. Oh, that's not the right one. Here's the scrolly one. You could put that down the center, use a wider one, use something fancy. I mean, the ideas that just popped in my head when I started playing around with are endless. Okay, there's that one. There's the plain one here, and you could put that along the edge, and then have your pocket pattern. This one probably be too wide for this one. Oh, that's not too bad, but yeah, we would have to bring it down a little bit. For itty bitty gemstones, maybe. So let me show you how I punch some of these out and give you the idea of it. That can go back in the bag. I'm done with you for now. I'm done with you for now. Okay, so we are going to do a couple of these border type punches. This one here, I wanted to do. This one here I'm not going to use, but you can get the same look out of these two. Just remember, one's smaller than the other. Where are you? Yeah, this one. See, this one's smaller, where this side is larger. See, this side is smaller, this side is larger. You can see where I didn't line it up right. Really pay attention to your positioner. So anyways, when I did this one, this is the one that I was thinking for the bookbinder part. So I cut out okay, this is a 4-inch wide, so that if we fold that in half, that would make it 2 across. So that might work for the binding. Might need it a little bit bigger. But when we do this, and you decide which one you want, for instance, this one here, because I would want them directly across, you want to line it up perfectly with the outer edge, right here like this. See how it is right to the edge there? Make sure your paper is put all the way, and punch. So then you pull this back. Oh, I got the wrong one. I'm using the mini one. Oh well. Get that taken care of and lined up right, and punch. Okay, so for instance, you have that now. If you want your scallops to be directly across, we lined it this side right up with the edge. You want to line this side here up with the edge. And then reposition it. And then both sides of these are like all the way across. So just get to play with it. So that's how I did this one here. Just lined it directly across. This one was my first one. That's what made me decide what type of border I was going to put on my inner pages. This one here, I was playing around to see if I liked the small one or the large one better. I like the large one better for the boy. This one here, I offsetted it. Let me show you how I did the offset. Oh, let's get the big one. The small one's harder to punch. This one's easier. So we are going to line this up right to this edge, so you can start in the exact area. Gonna line this up over here. Okay, so now you had this right at this edge right here when you first did it. You want to flip it over put it in and go to about the halfway point. You're going to come in the middle here. Push it all the way in. And then do that again over here. And you see how you have them all set. Which is a pretty detail too. So there's that one, and then we'll put this over here out of the way. Now we can do the embroidery eyelet, what I call it. Okay, this one here is your normal simple punch. Now with the pages, remember you want to start in the exact same spot every time when you do this, so that all these will I got some of these backwards here. There we go. You see how the pages line almost completely up here? Where if you just started anywhere, these would be zigzagged every which way. Not a match. You know, unless you like that way. I didn't like it that way. I wanted them to be as close as possible. So that's how I did those. So with the punch, this is your normal everyday punch that you see all people do. You line it up, you punch it, come back, line it up, punch it, and there's your plain old edging. Simple little edging. And then I was playing around. This is before I realized that I needed to be directly across. But this is where I did the one side here all the way across. And then I was playing with it, and I didn't line them exactly up. They're off a little bit, so it kind of looks like a spiral to me. But you could also put like gemstones or buttons in there to do it on both sides, and then, you know, put that on your pocket with the fancy paper hanging down. And then this one here, I offset it. That one here, oh, probably should be thinner than this one. Yeah. So this one here, you want to start it where you can remark it, where you know it's going to match. Okay, and then instead, when you flip it over, since you started right at the edge, you want to go halfway in. So the top scallop here is the very top. And then re-punch it to the very end. And see how you got the zigzag? Use a narrower strip and it'll be like this. I know I put more narrow strips down. Yeah, here. Let's try this one. Start right at the edge. Do this again. Turn it over. Go to the halfway point. Oh, that's a different one. This one was too narrow. look at that. There's a new one. And it's pretty too. Let's try this one. No. Where's the 1 inchers at? That one's 3/4. There's some 1 inchers. Line it up. I was having fun with these.